Hi, welcome to this membership presentation for District 9570. The content of this presentation has been approved by our District Governor, Rod Madu. Now, the presentation has been designed to show all club members and it ensures a consistent message is being delivered to all the clubs within our district in regards to membership, and it supports our district's membership goals. I know that membership is a topic of concern for a number of clubs, and Rod asked me to put together a presentation that could go around and address some of the issues that have been raised. I'm hoping this presentation will provide some ideas, but more importantly, some direction when it comes to developing a membership approach for your club. Just a little bit about myself. My name is Heidi and I'm your District Membership Officer. I'm currently undertaking a third term as my own club's membership officer, and this is the second year as our district's. So last year I was privileged enough to visit a number of clubs in our district along with Brian Jessett. We did a road trip for a week and I got to see firsthand some of the challenges that clubs within our district have with regards to membership. I also met a lot of presidents at PETS in Gladstone this year where we discussed your concerns and got to share ideas about membership and what's working and what isn't for some clubs. Last year I attended 2 interstate membership seminars which provided so much valuable information, and I got to share that with the presidents and the membership officers last year. Before I go on, I want you to know that this presentation is a culmination really of the last 2 years of my position as a membership officer and trialing things within my own club. So I'm not going to present anything that I haven't tested myself. And I have to tell you that our own club has had resounding success with just the little tweaks that we've done that I'm presenting in this presentation. So, for example, last year we inducted 11 new members without having a membership drive or event. People actually approached us wanting to join our club, and I honestly believe it's because we worked on the 3 key areas that I'm sharing with you in this presentation. My role as district membership officer is not to help you get members, but it's instead to provoke and challenge your existing ideas about membership and how your club operates. It's to listen to your concerns and provide you with ideas and guidance when you get stuck. And I do like to poke the bear. I actually think that it's healthy to challenge the ideas that we have, especially around membership and about how our clubs run. And I must warn you, I'm not afraid to talk about the elephant in the room and have those controversial conversations that many people would prefer to ignore. Ignorance is no excuse when it comes to the law, and neither should it be for Rotary. But don't worry, if I'm about to broach an elephant topic, I'll let you know. So let's get started. When I think of Rotary membership, it's always felt a bit like this, dragging people through our doors and into our meetings. But I think it's time that we challenge the membership way and the way that we approach it. Instead, let's create an environment where we've got people who are excited to come to our meetings, where people want to actually join our clubs and are keen to put their hands up to take on projects. Because let's face it, wouldn't life be easier if we could spend our time just focusing on projects and having fun, rather than membership numbers and who's going to do the projects we want to undertake? Well, that's what this presentation is all about. It's about creating a club or our clubs that have this excitement where people want to join them. And I think the first thing we need to do is stop focusing on numbers and placing so much emphasis on them determining if we're a great club or not. The number of members in a club does not determine if it's successful. What does determine our success is if we are achieving our values, if we're meeting the needs of our communities, and if we're fostering environments that support diversity. So this leads us to the three key areas that I mentioned earlier that this presentation is focusing on today. So the three key areas our district is focusing on with regards to membership, which supports the overall goals of Rotary International, are our culture, our projects, and our image. So let's have a look at each one of those in more detail. Before we start with culture, I'm just going to warn you that this topic is fraught with elephant in the room alerts. Our culture means how we appear to others and explores a number of questions, such as, are we inclusive? When we look at are we inclusive, we really have to ask the question, do we really make people of all ages, ethnicity, genders, and sexual orientation feel welcome? How do the initials LGBTQIA make you feel? Like, seriously. And do you even know what those initials mean? For those of you who are unsure, they stand for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer or questioning, intersex, and asexual. My point with this question is if a person who identified as transgender wanted to join your club, how culturally prepared is that club? Because above all else, Rotary is about working together to achieve humanitarian goals, and that's what our focus should always be. It shouldn't be on someone's sexual orientation, their gender, their ethnicity, or their age. Do our words and actions exclude people? Our actions and words might unintentionally be causing offence to others, and it's time that we actually became aware of this. Some of our in-house jokes might offend potential and really our existing members. And I have to tell you that anyone who knows me knows that I'm fairly open-minded. However, when I hear sayings like, behind every great man is a great woman, I think it's time that we need to embrace the 21st century and amend that saying to next to every great man is an equally great woman. Gender equality is the fundamental principle behind the White Ribbon organisation, which most of you know that our District Governor, Rod Madu, is an ambassador for. When I discussed Rotary's culture and expressed my concerns with Rod, he agreed that it's an area that we need to talk about and bring out of the closet, so to speak, and get it out there and discuss and challenge what we normally do and believe. And please don't think that for 1 minute I condone living in a nanny state where we're frightened of saying anything in case we offend people. But I do think it's time that we thought before we spoke, especially when we're trying to create an inclusive culture. Are we kind, especially to our volunteers? Do we bark orders when jobs need to be done and forget that we're dealing with unpaid employees? I mean, Rotary has such a unique business model in the way that people pay us to work. So in turn, we need to be aware that treating our volunteers with respect should be one of our top priorities. Are we supportive, especially when members don't turn up for meetings very often? Then we joke about it, announcing them as guests when they do. Is this just simple fun, or could someone be offended but feel they can't say anything? And imagine a guest that comes along to a meeting where something like that is said. They must be thinking to themselves, oh my goodness, if I don't turn up for every meeting, I might be the butt of somebody's joke. Are we flexible in supporting our members? Does your club vary meeting times so people who can't attend regular meetings can at least catch up and feel part of the club? Are we current? Are our club customs or meeting formats out of date? Did you know that you can create segments that are relevant to your own club? For example, rather than toasting an international club, why not once a month toast a local business or organisation that's doing amazing humanitarian work in your community? Guys, you can think outside the square and create some interest. Are we relevant? Do our projects meet the needs of our community and keep our members engaged? Or have we slipped into that catering club scenario, specialising in sausage sizzles? Or do we actually get involved in regularly creating change? Now, don't get me wrong, I understand there is a balance and the importance of raising money via those sausage sizzles, but we also need to make sure we do have that balance. Are we willing to try new or old ideas? How often do we hear, we've tried that before and it's never worked? We need to stop doing that. Like, seriously? There is nothing that puts existing members and potential members off your club faster than shutting them down before they've even had a chance to try anything. What's happened in the past is totally irrelevant to what is happening now and in the future, because now we have different people, different ideals and inspiration than what has happened in the past. And that brings us to our second area of focus, which is projects. Projects are the key to engagement, both with our existing members and in gaining new ones. If you engage in interesting, dynamic and diverse projects, I can tell you, you are naturally going to attract members and keep your existing members engaged. Besides which, isn't that one of the reasons why people join Rotary? To create change in the world? The district website is going to be a fantastic source to see what other clubs in our district are doing in regards to projects. But the best place to start with ideas is within your own community. So you can run newspaper ads, visit the Chamber of Commerce, go to the local high or primary school. Basically, tap into your community and ask them what is needed that will benefit the community. I'm willing to bet you that you'd be surprised with some of the amazing and viable ideas people come up with, especially youth. And I do acknowledge that some clubs might have restricted ability, like physically, for their members to do labour, but not all projects need a hands-on approach. For example, I visit a local aged care facility with my dog to do some dog therapy. And I overheard a conversation between carers saying that they wanted to buy a lifelike doll for the patients in the dementia area to nurture. And it's part of their wellness program. But the facility thought that the money involved with purchasing that particular item was too expensive. And I thought to myself, well, that's something I'm going to put towards my board to suggest that we purchase a doll for this, a lifelike doll for this organisation. So why not have something as simple like as that as a project? That project is going to cost approximately $500. It's also important that we create partnerships with organisations within our communities. Many clubs do this well, but most of us could do it better. Perhaps think outside the square and do something like engage the local school to create a social media strategy for your club and projects. Or ask the local scout group to cater for a campfire discussion night where you invite members of the community to talk about mental health issues in your area. And don't forget the Rotary grant system. Explore all options and don't be afraid to spend a few dollars if it means getting the job done. In the end, it's better to spend the money you've worked so hard to raise than just to let it sit in the bank waiting for the perfect project to come along. When it comes to tackling a larger project, why not get together with your closest Rotary club and create a project partnership? Again, many clubs already do this quite successfully, but I think we could do it more and sort of move away from that silo mentality that we've got. We're all part of Rotary and really should tap into our existing resources. And these are just some ideas to show you that you can be creative as you want when it comes to building meaningful relationships. Variety is the key when it comes to projects. So develop a strategic plan for your club's projects and ensure you have a number of small, quick hits that your members can get engaged with. Have projects that are local but take a bit more time to come to fruition, and don't be scared to think big. Have a key project where you engage with a number of organisations to do something amazing within your community. Have a couple of international projects where you either partner up with an existing Rorks project or you create one of your own, working with an overseas Rotary club or organisation. Having variety will draw in potential members and give existing members variety. So let's stop and reflect for a second. Your club is culturally aware and members are on their A game with welcoming all people into their meetings. Your projects are taking off and it looks like a great year ahead with half a dozen small projects and one large one up your sleeve. So your existing members are excited and glad they're part of a dynamic club. This is amazing stuff, awesome. But what now? Well, if you don't get your image out there, you simply become your community's best kept secret. Okay, locals might know your club exists, but how about new people to your area? Or people who know about Rotary but don't think it's for them? And honestly, I think that is one of our biggest challenges when it comes to our image. It's time to challenge the way Rotary and our clubs might be perceived and get our image out there for people to constantly see through our social media, web pages, local media sources, anything that you can think of. But let's not post ordinary photos of Rotarians flipping snags or talking at the lectern, and no disrespect is intended here to Brian Jessett. I think this picture is more engaging. It's more dynamic and fun, and it shows our community how much fun it is to join our organisation and our club. This photo was taken by the Rotary Club of Seaford in South Australia at their tree planting day. Now, our club's tree planting day is coming up, so long as there's not any danger to anyone's physical health, I'm aiming to take a similar photo and put it on our Facebook page and let the community know that, hey, if you join our club, you're joining a club that's fun and dynamic. If we get our culture, our projects and our image right, then we're likely to attract a diverse range of members. And diversity is one of the membership goals and brings with it a wealth of new ideas, knowledge, skills and experience for our clubs to be even richer by. So here's the big question. What can you do right now? Well, for starters, you can have a yes approach to new and old ideas. And when you find yourself saying, whoa, no, we can't do that, stop and take a breath and ask yourself, why not? Be open-minded and try saying yes. Challenge yourself and your actions. Again, is it funny or is it slightly derogatory? And be honest. Think about how your words and your actions might be perceived by others. Challenge those around you. Again, ask the question, is it funny or is it slightly derogatory? We need to be aware that if we want to create a culture where all people feel comfortable, then we may need to actually think about our usual banter in our clubs. Put forward ideas for projects. Engage and get involved. Get excited. Have fun. You're facing the world as a Rotarian. You are Rotary's image. So every time you wear your Rotary logo in public, you represent our organisation. Sometimes you might have to fake it till you make it, and if that's the case, go for it. But have fun. Be inspirational. Be a role model for potential and new members. And I think if you do all of those things right, membership will grow organically, and there'll be no more membership events where we feel like we're dragging people through our doors to join our club. But if you're keen to hold a membership event, think about these 3 key areas that we've discussed in this presentation and make sure you're attracting the right type of members who will work with you to ensure your club is around for many generations to come. It is no point in attracting the wrong type of members to your club. And what I mean by the wrong type of members are members that want to join to be part of Rotary but not necessarily do anything. You want active members, so that's who you're trying to attract. Now, the final elephant in the room alert. In my position, I occasionally hear from frustrated members who feel their club is not the right fit for them. And I emphasise, especially in communities where there isn't another Rotary club that they can join. If this is the case, my first piece of advice is don't give up. Raise your concerns with your club president, then your assistant governor, and then because everybody's here to support you, speak to Rod if you need to. But I'm going to give you a bit of a provocative thought. Why not consider establishing a satellite club? Now, before you think I'm suggesting that members should jump ship at the first sign of distress, that's actually not what I'm suggesting at all. However, when fundamental ideas and values are not being met, then we don't want to lose active, keen members. So why not consider forming a satellite club in your area? This gives you an opportunity to find other like-minded people who are keen to join Rotary, but who also feel the existing club might not be the best fit for them. But before you head down that road, replay this presentation over again and think about the 3 key areas that we've discussed, because there is no point starting a new club in your community that hasn't got its culture in order, that doesn't have interesting projects lined up, and isn't prepared to be flexible in attracting new members. Sometimes creating a satellite club is also a great opportunity to try things that are a little bit different. Maybe having a blended approach to membership. It could be a combination of an e-club and a face-to-face club. Think outside the square. I mean, these are exciting times in Rotary as far as membership goes. You are only limited by your imagination. So thank you for your time in watching this presentation. I hope that you've got something useful out of it, because as I said, 11 people we signed up in my own club last year, and that was without a membership drive. But that was because we have tweaked our culture. We've reviewed our projects. We are actually getting all our ducks lined up in a row, if you like. And I know some clubs in the district are having great success with their membership model. And if that's the case, please make sure we cross-pollinate that information. I've put a couple of helpful resources up here for you, and if you feel that you really want to do a membership drive, then if you Google the Rotary Club of Yass's membership model, that was what I've used in my club with great success as well. There are so many helpful resources out there, but here are just some 3 that I think could spark some conversation. I've also included my contact details. If you want to discuss any ideas or concerns, please feel free to contact me. And thank you for listening and for your time today.